I'm Kerry Jackson, and amongst a variety of other topics and projects and interests, I have for 12 consecutive years been an outstanding drama teacher in a secondary school. I specialise in behaviour management, use of questioning and initial teacher training, and I thought I'd share just a few of Kerry's top tips for teaching success, to give it a name. But I thought I'd share a few of my strategies with you today in the hope that they might help you in the classroom and help your students also. The first one I'm going to say is the meet and greet. This is your opportunity to establish yourself, your standards and your rapport before your students have even entered the classroom. If it's a class you've never met before, this is going to be important. And I would always ask them, lining up nicely please. Let's have pens and planners in hand and our shirts nice and neatly tucked in. Morning, Year 7s. And I would greet each one individually. If perhaps there was one lingering at the back and deciding that it wasn't his or her turn to listen, I would always endeavour to go stealth. Ooh, excuse me. What's his name up there? Yeah, the one with his back to me. Thanks. And yours? Thanks, Bethany. Good morning, Josh. How do I know your name? I have my ways. Let's see your shirt tucked in, your pen and your planner. Just step out to the line a second while you get yourself ready, and we'll get everyone in who's right. Fab. In goes Josh, and a good start to the lesson. I will often, with a new class, use a name learning strategy. There are plenty of name learning strategies, seating plans, you could get some photographs. There are so many ways that a teacher can learn the names of the student. And I cannot stress enough how important I think it is to use the students' names confidently and correctly. But nobody is going to know them all straight away, and I always make that really clear to the students. I'm Miss Jackson, pleased to meet you, introduce myself, perhaps put my name on the board, there's a visual reminder there, and I would endeavour to learn their names. The technique that I use is I sit the students in an alphabetical circle. Could you please arrange yourself in first name order? So if you're an Alicia, an Aisha, an Amy, a Ben, a Connor, you're going to be here, going all the way around until Sophie, Scott, Zoe, over at this side of me. You've got 10 seconds to get yourself in the order. And go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great work, team. Well done. So you clearly know each other. I'm definitely on the back foot here, but I'll give it a go. If you'd be so kind as to say your name clearly, and we'll go round the circle. When we get here, we'll go all the way back again. And maybe, only heard it twice, 30 names. I'll be able to remember them all. I do that activity. I often go round twice. I get them all right. I can obviously guess from the alphabet as to what they might be, and I receive a round of applause. And I always thank the students for doing that. Somehow or other, setting yourself up as a learner and as somebody who respects them often seems to generate a response, a positive, respectful response from them, and it's lovely. It's a lovely thing to happen. Once you're armed with the names, then you can use them, and you can use them confidently. But always be mindful of what I like to call the negative name class celebrity. Connor. 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 We're just waiting for Connor. Connor! Get down, Connor. Inadvertently, Connor has become a celebrity in his own right, a recognition from an overuse, an over negative use of his name. It's so easy to slip into that situation, and sometimes you have to work against your instinct when Connor is constantly and persistently looking for a disruption. But what I try to do is to use names positively. Sitting beautifully, Jess. Excellent, Molly. Really, really quick to respond there, Abby. And I might use my board to put on the names of the students who are doing well. Suddenly, Miss Jackson, Molly, Abby and Jess are the class celebrities. The next one I'd like to move on to chat to you about is the development of non-verbal signals. There's nothing more stressful on the voice than teaching, and drama teaching particularly, when there's groups everywhere working and people are busy doing, and you're feeling the pressure of time, and you're, hey, can everybody stop, come on, right, 2 minutes left, and you are shouting above what might be an active noise and what might be actually a noise of engaged students, but you are straining your own voice and increasing a sense of tension in the air. And to avoid that, I use non-verbal signs, and I teach them to my classes. I teach them to my classes and I train them in them. I use them all the time and I embed them into my lessons. The hands up rule is something I use all the time. When all the students are off and they're busy doing something, now everyone's listening, I can use my normal voice and I won't need to shout over them. Just checking that everybody has included everything from our checklist today. Do you have an example of? Where have you? I might do a check. I might choose a good model of practice, some students that are showing some particular flair. I might demonstrate that, or I might add something on. Okay, you've all had a few minutes, you've got to this stage, now to develop it further, I want you to include this. You've got 5 more minutes. And off they go. I might want them to come and sit in a circle. First couple of times, I might use my voice as well as my signals, but before you know it, you don't need to anymore. For example, okay, come in and standing in a circle, please, and sitting down. Thank you. After a couple of times, I can just go, and like miracles it works. Or the other. What I'm doing is that I am modelling for the students that I don't want them to talk over me, and I'm not prepared to talk over them either. In this space, there will be a dual respect, and nobody will have the need to scream, to shout, or to raise their voice. 3 top tips for success is certainly not an exhaustive list, because as you well know, teachers are orchestras of the most complex and advanced, they're conductors of the most complex orchestras that you could ever witness. And what you want to do is to get every instrument playing at its best. I could go on all night, but I hope that my 3 top tips for success that I've shared with you today might be something that you could have a little practice at, that you could apply in your classroom, and you could see whether it improves your behaviour management and then ultimately the teaching and learning in your space. Thanks so much for listening, and if you want to get in contact with me, ask me any questions or share any of your good practice, I'd be more than willing to receive them. You can get me at kerryajackson@yahoo.com. Thanks again.